Hello there, guys. Today I present Cycloid Construction. First thing, before we get started, please observe the screen layout. You would see that in the far left-hand corner is my AutoCAD screen, and my right side is my information screen. So therefore, this is where you see the question that I'm about to solve today. And let's have a look at what the question asks us to do. Okay, so this question was taken from a CXC paper, and I'm about to attempt to solve this question. The question reads, ABC in figure 2 above represents a ramp at an angle of 30 degrees to the horizontal plane. Circle O represents a drum being rolled down the ramp. Draw the diagram to show the path that the point P will trace as the drum makes one complete rotation. Okay. So first, before we start, just look at this. And we have a circle that is going to be 35mm diameter, and it is descending this ramp. The ramp starts at C and ends at A. The ramp is at a slope of 30 degrees. The best way to start this problem is to actually draw the cycloid on a flat surface and then rotate the cycloid at a 30-degree angle and attach the ramp to it. This way, you won't run into too many problems. So I'm going to draw the cycloid. First, I'm going to set up the configuration, and then I'm going to draw the cycloid on a straight surface. So we don't have much here to set up the configuration in terms of the distance from A to P. That must be calculated by multiplying the diameter by pi. So the formula for that is pi d to find the circumference. The circumference is what we need to get the distance from P to A, which is what the drum goes through to create one complete rotation. Okay, so let's get started. I'm in AutoCAD now, and I am going to start drawing. So at this stage now, I'm going to maximize my screen because we no longer need to see the information here on the right screen. So I start off with my construction layer, and I have my layers here, all that I would need to complete this demonstration. So let me just introduce you to my layers. I have a center line layer, a construction layer, a dimension layer, a hatch layer, hidden line, outline, and text. And as I go through this drawing, you will see how I actually use these different layers so as to make my drawing read easily. Okay, so the first thing I draw on my construction layer, I'm going to set up A to B. And A to B is a straight line. Okay, so I'm drawing a straight line and I realize that my ortho is off. So I'm going to come down here and turn on my ortho, or I can just simply press F8. So my ortho, see the ortho as your T-square line or your set square line. If you were drawing horizontal lines, you would always need your ortho on. And if you're drawing vertical lines, you would also need your ortho on. So that's something key that we should always work with. So I've just created a random line, and I'm going to call it A to B. I'm going to now go over to my text layer because I want to insert text. And I insert text by typing the shortcut key MT, which stands for M-text, multi-text. I'm going to come here to one point and call that A. Yeah, so that's my text layer. And I don't like the size of that, so I'm going to change that A to a 5.5. No, it didn't change. Let me highlight the letter, highlight the number in there, change it to 5. So that's a good size there, A. I'm going to copy this A because I also want to copy the properties over to B, point B. And the copy is CO. CO is the shortcut for copy. It's right there. And then you activate it by pressing enter. So that's point A and this is point B. So what I basically did is draw a line, a random distance, and I have assigned the two endpoints A and B, giving them their appropriate titles. Now I need to create a 30-degree line from A going upwards. So some people can just simply start the line command and then just press tab on the keyboard and then get to the angle option. I have to press my less than sign and then put in the angle 30 degrees. And that is my angle there. Okay, so one thing that I don't like, my angle line has been drawn on my text layer. So I need to swap this. So I'm going to select the line that I've just drawn, pull down the menu, which has all my layers, my layer manager, and just touch construction. That's my construction line right there. Now, I'm going to minimize this so that we can see the problem again. The problem asks for a 30 diameter circle. So I'm going to draw a circle, C for circle, and I just open 35. Oh, I got to change it to diameter. So D for diameter, and I'm going to type in 35. So that's my 35 diameter circle there. And I've attached that somewhere out there. And let's call that point where I've attached that P. All right. So I'm going to copy my M text, my point B, and change that to P. That is point P, there where the circle is. Okay, I can get rid of this circle here. And let me just check if this is a 35 diameter circle. I'm going to go to properties. And yes, diameter is 35. So that's good to go. But like I say, I'm going to draw this whole setup on a flat surface, and then I'm going to slot it in here because it's easier to do it that way. At least that's what I think. What am I doing now? Oh, I'm changing this. I'm placing this into my construction layer. Yes. And I need to calculate my circumference. So the circumference is calculated by multiplying the diameter by pi, and pi is 3.14. So let me just bring up my calculator. And the diameter is 35, so I insert 35 multiplied by 3.142, and that gives us a number like 109.97. So that is our circumference, and that is in millimeters, folks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come at A, and I'm going to... Okay, so what I need to do, I want to actually offset a line at A along this line AP that is going to be 109.97 millimeters. So the shortcut I'm going to do is just create a circle there, A, put a circle here, and I just open it to 109.97. And that's it there, and that essentially is where my P would be now. So I'm just going to move my P and my circle to right here. Let's see what's the issue. I can't actually grip my circle. Okay, so I'm going to start my circle there. I'll just solve this quickly. It's just finding the diameter of the circle, sorry, the radius of the circle by dividing 35 in half, and that is 17.5. So 17.5 is the radius. Why was that important? Because I need to determine where my circle starts. So my radius, so let me get out the diameter mode because that's what I last drew my circle on. So now I'm in radius mode, and I'm going to type in 17.5. 17.5. Okay, good. So I have actually located where my P is, and my circle that is 35 millimeter diameter. So everything is in. We are ready to solve this. So this line point here now would go to C. So I have it set up. That is the setup. And so that you guys can understand what I've done, I'm actually going to place the 30 degree in here. MText, I'm going to put 30 degrees. And the symbol for degrees is right here, 30 degrees. Now I'm going to trim this circle because I no longer need that part of the circle. I'm just going to make 30 degrees the same size as P, A, and B. So I'm going to max drop those properties. MA is a shortcut for max drop. And I'm going to touch P to grab the properties, and then I hover over 30 and then click. So I've just transferred the properties over to 30 degrees. So this is our setup here, and we are going to start drawing this. I can draw this here directly here at this point, but like I said, I am going to take this out and draw this on a flat surface so that you guys can see this properly. So I'm just going to leave here, set this up. Let me just make sure that I'm on my construction layer, because I have a tendency to draw on the text there or whatever layer I was last on. So this is where you know that my circle is going to be, which is 17.5. Put a point there, and then move this circle up. Cool. Then I'm going to offset the circumference distance, which is 109.97, and we're going to offset it to the left, because this view will be going down, and down is to the left. Now, so I'm going to call these points A and P. So I'm just going to copy my A. Here, and my P would be here, right? Let me just change these. A and P. Right. And now it is time to solve this problem. So the first thing we need to do is, let me just change my DDP, which are my point styles. I think my point styles at 0.5 size is too large, so I'm going to put them at 3, and I think that looks much better. Now the first thing I need to do is I need to divide this circle into 12 pieces, and I need to also divide the line AP into 12 pieces. So let me just trim this line AP so that when I actually go to divide it, I divide the actual line AP and nothing else. All right? Good. We'll leave this there for the time being. So I'm going to divide the circle first into 12 pieces, and then I'm going to divide the line AP into 12 pieces also. So the shortcut for divide is div. Divide comes up, enter to activate, touch the circle, and then they're going to ask you enter the number of segments. That simply means enter the number of pieces you want the circle to be divided into. That's 12, like I said in the beginning. And my circle has been divided into 12 pieces, and you can see the X's there. Those are the points where it has been divided. So let's join them. These pieces are actually show the divisions. Good. So these are my 12 points here. I'm actually going to label the divisions. So the first point is point 12. And I usually just copy and then just change. So they're all positioned. And then I come back and I change. So this is 12 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 5 6 7 Okay, good. So everything is there, and what I'm going to do is just put all these numbers into my text layer. So it's just organize the drawing at this stage as we go. Good. So those are my 12 pieces there, and now my line, I'm going to divide my line AP into 12 pieces also. So div is the command. Touch the line into 12, get my pieces there. So I'm going to copy. I'm going to copy one. Actually, just start with an M text. One, and just copy this now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and P would be 12. A would be 0, P would be 0.12. So let's just start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my students tend to ask me, how do I remember 12? And why is 12 so significant? And I usually tell them, just remember a clock. A clock has 12, a clock face has 12 points. And also a year has 12 months. So I try to bring back my geometry back to real life situations so that my students would find this geometry easy and interesting as I teach it. So I'm just going to grab the points also and put everything into my text layer. All right, I think that makes sense. Good. What do I do now? At this stage, I can take one or two options. I can either send vertical lines. I can send vertical lines. I can position vertical lines at the points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way down to 12 on this horizontal line. Or I can create horizontal points. So, and I can have to create horizontal lines around the circle. So let's start with this process first. So I'm basically going to copy this line at my points between A to P, my 12 points. So I have a series of vertical lines when you look at the drawing. So this is me starting to create the grid for the cycloid. So I'm just copying the line at A, the vertical line at A 12 times. Good. Now I'm going to create one line. Actually, I don't even have to do that. I can just copy the line AP 6 times up. The reason why we copy 6 times up and not 12 times is because we go through 2 points every time we move. So we move from 6 at the very bottom, and if I place my line here at 5, you would also recognize that it goes through point 7. And if I do it at 4, it goes through point 8, 9 goes through 3, 2 goes through point 10, 1 goes through point 11, and 12 sits alone. Yeah. So I'm just going to extend these lines to hit this point. So I'm going to use the shortcut EX, touch the lines that I want, touch the last line, enter, and then extend these lines over. Good. Thank you. Good now. I think I should start trimming this drawing to make it look neater. So there's some lines that we don't need, like these lines at the bottom and these lines at the top. I don't exactly need these lines. Okay, good now, perfect. So here we have the grid. I am going to place my center line, which is the line A, which is the line that I've just highlighted, which goes through points 9 and 3 of the circle. I'm going to put that on my center line layer. Why am I doing that? Now, that line there is our axis line. If you look here, this is our axis here where everything is going to move. This is where the circle moves on its axis, right? So the axis is right now at point 12, and since we are going down a hill, we need to go from 12 all the way back to A. So our 12 is point P, and we need to move from point P all the way down to A. And that is the circumference, which is 109.97 millimeters. So what I can do at this time, I can just dimension the line. DIM is the shortcut to access the dimension line, and I am just inserted the dimension there of the circumference. I'm also going to let you guys know what is the diameter of the circle. So the circle is a 35 diameter. Is that 35 diameter, and the circumference, which is the distance from A to P, that's 109.97. Good, now it's time to plot this circle. I'm going to change the circle from construction to the outline because the circle is what moves, all right? So let's start plotting this circle. Where is this circle going to move? Let me identify these points that the circle is going to be moving through. At this time, I'm going to copy my numbers up to the points where the circle is going to be moving. And I'm just going to bring out like that. I've done them. And yeah, let me just bring this last point, point 11. I'm just doing this for educational purposes so that you guys will be able to see where my circle is going. And I think it's best to also bring up numbers too, so that you can see the points and you can also see the numbers. All right. So my circle is going to go through these points. So right now I'm going to move my first point. I'm moving from 12 to 11. So, and seeing at point 12, we are at the base. This is where we are. I'm going to change this point here because this is the starting point. I'm going to change that layer and put that in our outline layer. All right. I'm going to go over and switch over to my outline layer. That's what I really want to be. So I'm moving the circle now. I'm moving it. So now that we have this set up and we have our numbers here at the top, I think what I'm going to do is start my circle from A. So I'm going to copy the circle and let's start this process from point A, or point 0 here. So this is where I'm starting, where my circle is at the base. I'm going to place a point there. Now I'm going to move my circle down one spot. Circle interacts with the first line, the first horizontal line right here. So I'm going to place a point there. Move the circle down another spot to point 2. Circle interacts with the horizontal line at line 4 and 8. Because don't forget, every time we go down a spot, we go up a line. That's how we actually work the grid. So that's the third point. And now I'm moving my circle from points 2 over to points 3. Again, once I move down points 3, I move up. So now I'm actually on the center line. So where does the circle touch the center line? Right here, close to point 1. So I'm going to place my point in there. Yeah. And now I'm going to roll my circle from point 3 down to point 4. And then we go up another horizontal line. So my circle and the horizontal line interact right here. Moving the circle from points 4 to points 5. Again, I'm looking for where the circle interacts with the horizontal line. This is the horizontal line that I've just selected, and the circle, that's the point there. I'm going to place a point right here. Now we move the circle to point 6, right? And point 6, where does point 6 interact the horizontal line? Now we are at the top. So the point 6 interacts right here. And if we look at this, as we go up, we have made a curve. And this curve can be mirrored to get the rest of the point. So I can drop a mirror line in here, select my curves, and then just reflect the points on the opposite side. And you'll be able to see point 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. But I'm going to roll my circle all the way and put in these points. So I'm moving from point 6, now going to point 7. And right now, point 6 was at the top, right here. Now we are descending the line as we are rolling the circle. So what are we looking for? We're looking for this point, this line 11 and 1, as it interacts with the circle, and it interacts right here at this point. Now we roll the circle from point 7 to point 8. Again, we're looking for the horizontal line. We're looking for the line below 11 and 1, which is 2 and 10. And where the circle interacts the line. So I just touch the circle and the line, and that's the point there. So I'm going to place my point in right here. Okay. Again, we roll the circle, so we're moving it from point 8 over to point 9. And point 9 interacts with the line 9 and 3. So the interaction is right here. I'm going to place my point in right there. And we're rolling the circle, so I'm now at point 10. And point 10 interacts with the circle right here. Again, rolling the circle to point 11. Point 11 interacts with the circle right here. And the final point has been placed in for us right here at the end, and it interacts with the circle right here at the baseline. So this is our cycloid construction. The points are there, but I'm going to turn off my construction, and I'm going to also turn off my text, and you should be able to see all the points. Yeah, all the points. I don't think I can see the point that's supposed to be on the center line. So I'm going to turn back on my layers. That's the good thing about being able to turn on and turn off your layers. You're able to see if all the points are in. So I don't think I'm missing a point. So I'm going to copy my circle over to point 3. Yes. I'm going to put in point 3. Point 3 is right here. All right, I put that in, and I can now delete my circle because my points are all in. So I'm going to turn off the hidden line, which is the center line. Sorry, I'm going to turn off the center layer. I'm going to turn off the construction layer, and I'm going to turn off the text layer. So what do I have on here? I just have on my outline layer, and my outline layer is what I'm going to use to draw my spleen. So to draw a spleen, use the command SPL and enter, and we're going to start from A. And we're going to connect these dots with a curved line. So I'm just going to all the dots that I have made as the circle has been rolled from point A to P, or from point P to A, because actually that is what happens. It goes from P to A. but I just decided to start it at A and end it at P. It will make the same curve, and this is what we call a cycloid construction. So you can see the cycloid construction here, and this is the circle that makes that curve. So now, I need to turn back on my layers, and yeah, turn on my text there, turn on everything. Now at this stage, this is where I'm going to place the construction, and now I'm going to place the curve right here onto the joint that is AP. But I'm going to bring this joint that I've just completed. I'm going to bring it into the title block. My ticks are fairly big, so I had to regenerate the screen. If you find out your ticks are big or your points on the screen are big, you can always type RE, and that actually is for regen. That regenerates the screen, and that actually helps to make the ticks a suitable size. Or when you're finished with them, you can actually turn them off. So you can put them as a point, or what I call a dash speck. So that means they're no longer visible. All right. So now the trick is to get this here. How do we do that? Well, it's fairly easy. You can make this whole thing a block and then rotate it. Yeah, why not? Just make this whole thing a block, BL. Make it a block. So I'm going to select the object. The object is right here. Enter. Just give it a name and call it cycloid. So that's a block. What does that mean? That means it's a one object. No longer in an individual parts put together. It's actually individual parts put together to form one object. And if I wanted to move this, I can now move it as one solid object. So it's a block. Some people call it a group. In some programs, you will use the term group. But in AutoCAD, we call it a block. So I'm going to now move this block, and I'm going to snap at point A and link my point A to point A. Okay, cool. So now I need to rotate this. So I'm going to hit RO for rotate, enter, touch the block, and then it asks me, I've selected my objects, enter, specify my base point. Now this is my base point, but I also need a reference point. So I'm going to say R for reference, enter. I'm going to now specify my reference angle, which is here. I'm going to go to B, and then I'm going to go up to C, and I have just actually inserted this whole thing. I'm slightly off here because I'm looking at this, and I think that my original circle at P I can now delete, and I can delete this point here P. That goes, and that's it. So this is how we actually solve this problem. Again, this is what the question asks. Draw the diagram to show the path that the point P will trace as the drum makes one complete rotation. I'm going to turn off the layers so that you can actually see the path. Turn off my dimension, turn off my construction. Oh, I'm going to actually, before, I'm going to put these two as a outline so that when I turn off my construction, you guys can see the path. And I'm going to turn off the text too. That's the path there. That's the path that it makes. And that path is called a cycloid construction. All right. So last thing I'm going to do is go over to my text layer and write the word cycloid construction. I hope you guys were able to learn something from this demonstration. Cycloid construction. Center that. Yeah. I'm going to increase the size here. Let's put that size 10. Whoa. Okay, man. Stretch that. Okay, good. So that's the cycloid construction. That's the question answered. As I said, I hope you guys learned something from this demonstration. You can share this, like it, and leave a comment if you care to. If this actually helped you, leave a comment. I'll be grateful. But I'm out. Thanks again for joining. Again, this is a cycloid construction, and I have a little something for you guys that like hand drawings. I've done this by hand. I'm just going to leave you with the hand drawing as we end off the session. It's the same thing, only thing I did it by hand a couple years ago. Thank you, and I'm out.